Oh, dude, that's a dead girl. That's a dead girl. Okay, we already know who this guy is. I'll make it look like he did it. That's good. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court defendant law. Oh, baby, hello, mama. We got a foxy chief in the house. Bottle. I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. Says a lot about you. Thank you? Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? Yeah. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Buff.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor. First question, prosecution, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright just told us the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to court just what that object was?
The murder weapon was the statue, the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim.
I see. The court accepts into evidence.
Mr. Butts, is it not true... Butts. Is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you?
Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Anthony. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day she died. Next question.
You were at the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, or did you not?
Oh, well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. Oh, he went.
Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying.
It's a setup. It's a setup order. Order of the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Oh, it's the murderer.
Mr. Howard, you saw the newspaper subscriptions, is this correct?
Oh, yes.
Newspapers? Yes.
Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder.
Oh, I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing in the apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry, because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it was strange, I looked inside the apartment, and then I saw her lying there, a woman not moving, dead! I quailed and frightened for myself, unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately, however, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. Objection! The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant still sitting right over there.
Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working?
Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to be working during the blackout?
Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. I have a record of the blackout for your perusal.
You may begin your cross-examination.
All right, Wright. This is it. The real deal. You exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is it your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in your evidence.
So hyped. You found the body at 1 p.m.?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain.
Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy report notes the time of death sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m., get it? How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
Mr. Sharwit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it.
Oh! Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yes, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Your Honor, if I may, this is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud.
I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now?
Yes.
Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hands, yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly, a contradiction.
Indeed.
The witness never knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh, yeah?
Prove it. I wasn't. I'll prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I'll prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock. The shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Oh, no!
Oh, surrender call. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. White. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sweet, the sound must have left quite an impression on you.
Understandable, since the murder weapon just spoke as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day I never. Look, the clock, I heard no, I saw. Meow. Wow. Whoa.
Shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you! I saw him! He killed her! And he should have burned! Give it back!
Order. Mr. Wright, you claim the sound of the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock?
Beep.
I think it's 8:25.
This certainly is a strange way to announce the time.
So, we've heard this clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now?
It's 11:25.
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between Mr. Sewit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sewit, try to talk your way out of this one.
You forgot one thing.
Uh-oh. What's he talking about now?
While it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case.
This means I cannot let you indict this witness.
I come all the way down here to testify. Look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal. Your lawyers are all slime.
Sorry, Larry. I failed you. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Fang Shui.
Not so fast, Mr. Shuit.
Chief!
Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. It's not like this. Think.
But, Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow on the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that.
Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste your time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think it through. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right?
Came from Paris the day before. Present the Objection, mother trucker! Objection!
Take that!
The victim had just returned abroad from the day before the murder, and as we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why you had heard when you struck her dead and the apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sewit? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Oh! Ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Oh. Clap. Oh, Mr. Payne, your witness?
He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and to find a true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts. Butts. Not guilty! Confetti in the court. And with that, the court is adjourned. Woohoo! My first case in Phoenix, right. When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sewit let him in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Squid grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find.
Congratulations, Harry.
Harry?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent.
Oh, thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Here, take this. It's a present.
Wait, wasn't this the evidence that...
Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me.
Really? You? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. She was just playing me for a fool.
Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry.
Are you so sure?
Excuse me?
I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way.
This is the clock that you made for her, Larry, and she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling.
Well, make out of what you will.
Really, I am, thanks!
And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said,
"Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends!"
But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident.
What?
I'm the blue badger. I will kick the shiz out of you. Look at my baton, it'll stick right up your bum. 'Cause I do police brutality all the time. Hey, will you come be a cop with me? Will you smash a lot of TVs? We are friendly and we will beat the crap out of you. Look at my baton and my flag to hurt you too. I will haunt you in your dreams, then you will be in my dreams. Family is all we need to kill, 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 kill.